Hello friends, today I am going to show you a very important feature in Odoo version 16 which is coming with project management and task management with material management. And this is a typical requirement for all the businesses who are into product plus service sales together. And I'm going to run you with a small example today which is for interior development or designer with carpentry and that furniture production management services. So what I have done is I have first created a sales order for my corporate customers where I have defined two sections. One is for conference table, 2 units production, where I would require plywood sheet 96 square feet, then plywood sheet 144 square feet, then Fevicol, laminates, and then I have also added carpentry services and cutting services. So carpentry services is our services which we are going to as a part of our own service, and it will create project and task. And then I have defined cutting services, which is again a service, and based on delivered quantity I am going to bill. And here I have defined it's a subcontracted services. So I have defined a vendor where I'm buying this service from and I am going to deliver this. And rest of are parts. And I have created another thing like work desk 10 units, which is having plywood 18 inch and plywood 6 inch with Fevicol 4 units and laminates 10 units, and this again this service for 80 and 20 hours. So as soon as I confirm this, it has created the project with SO34, and I can define its rename corporate customer so that I can remember. And allocated hours are 150 in total. How? Like 40 plus 10, 50, 50, and another 100 hours which I'm going to serve during entire term. So entire allocation is 140. And then in settings I have enabled subtask, task dependencies, milestone, billable, and this product on task. So this is a new feature and it is only available when I am installing field service module. Due to that, now I can allocate and enable one feature, that is related task. Okay, so here I am going to say that this particular cutting and carpentry services I am going to use it for. So when I say it also have cutting service and then carpentry services, so majorly I am going to use it for cutting service first. Okay, so when I am going into task and I am going into this cutting service, you can see product is allocated here to consume. So this is a new feature and very great. So I can track my cutting service along with my product allocation also. Here I can also add some more products which is required on the go to fulfill my need. And as soon as I add any of this item like 1 unit in my cutting service and I go back to my SO, it will add one more unit of Fevicol. Can you see here? And then it will automatically create my RFQ because it is the item which I have marked as make to order. And I confirm this and I receive the product, set quantities. So it will again increase my overall value of my sales because it is on the go, it is added. Okay, so I received 1 unit and now I will deliver 1 unit. So this is in ready state. I set quantity and deliver it. So in cutting services, I'm going to have everything over here. And this cutting services, I will be using the next cutting services. So I have two cutting services in total. So if I go to task, cutting service one, it has some sort of products. If I go to another cutting services, it has another set of services, 720 products in total. So 10 units and 80 square feet of these and 240 square feet of this 6 inch, 18 inch and this 250 hours of cutting services. So 16 inch, 18 inch, 6 inch. So this is how I have divided into this. Even for better management, I can rename the task cutting service for um, conference table, clear, and carpentry services for conference table CT. I'm given its name, and then cutting service for work desk and carpentry services for work desk. Now I'm going up to my, you can see carpentry services for conference. Here also I can see carpentry services for conference, cutting services for conference table, and here is for work desk, is for work desk, is for cutting, and then carpentry. Okay, so this is how I have divided, and this to be consumed in carpentry services for work desk, and this is again laminates to be consumed on carpentry services for work desk, and this Fevicol is for carpentry services for conference table, and again conference table. So it has divided. Okay, and here also this carpentry services for work desk and carpentry services for work desk. So I have made a division of my uh, you know task for conference table. Okay, this is for carpentry services work desk and cutting services for work desk. This is carpentry services for city, cutting services for conference. Okay, so this is entire division of my related task and material allocation. So when I'm going to task, I will have clear picture how much material I'm going to use in it, and if I need anything on the go, I can utilize that. And then I will define and allocate, like the person who is, submitting this services for us. So here I will say first I have outsourced the services. So in delivery, my partner vendor one, let me check who is the my vendor one, my vendor two. Okay, and in purchase I have made a purchase for cutting vendor. So cutting vendor has directly uh, have this services as a confirmed. I have confirmed date. Let's say he has served his entire thing, and I am adding it to my hours, and I am creating a vendor bill for this particular services. for cutting one. Okay, and then if I'm going back to my, so to 120 hours to plan is there now, because for another 30 hours which are outsourced has already been built and delivered. So quotation 34, you can see this, everything is delivered, and now I'm going into my task, cutting services. Let's say I'm registering 10 hours of cutting services. So you can see the cutting service for conference table. I have registered this 10 hours of timesheet, where it requires total of 20 hours. So it becomes 100%. And then cutting service for work desk, allocated hours are 10. So my carpenter will work for 10 hours for this service, and it becomes 100%. Okay. Now within carpentry services, I have allocated 80 hours, where I have allocated to carpenter. Okay. So here is my carpenter user. I am changing its password. One. I am going into another browser, copying this user. So carpenter will see his own work task here. He is allocated to project 34 number, and he will register his hours over here in carpentry services. He will say he has spent 40 hours till now for conference table task. If we say my task, he can see this under project. If I go to carpenter's work desk, if I assign carpenter here, then it will again visible to his task for work desk. And in work desk, he mentioned that he has worked 10 hours so far now. So far my project is going okay with carpenter also. And here, if I go back to my main project and related task, if I open my project, now I want to see the status. So 96 square feet of 24-inch has been delivered, Fevicol 1 unit delivered, plywood sheet delivered. There is no invoice at all. And then you can see the materials which are to be invoiced. And these are the timesheet billability. You can see everything over here. Okay. And then if I go back to my sales order and I want to create my first invoice for the customer, it will create all the invoice for my items right here. That is first bill I have been generated. And for 80 hours recorded, I first validate these 80 hours. Okay. And then if I create invoice, I have validated this timesheet, and this is my planning sheet. I'm not going into there right now, but I'm just wanted to see how much is registered. So if I go to my carpentry services based on delivered quantity manual, okay. So I have recorded 80 hours like this carpentry novel, which is validated also. I can even send a report to customer for this task list. From the task, this is all the consumptions we have made. And now I want to register my bill for this. So if I create invoice, the invoice has been created. Let me go and check the invoice. It is all my material only. Nothing has been billed so far now. Already registered 80 hours. So I'm just finding a way to bill this. So this is overall item which we have defined, and then to go to project, I say in progress, but I'm just trying to finalize one bill towards this service item. So carpentry services 40 hours. I have recorded also. So I'm adding manually over here the delivered services. And then it will allow me to create invoice for my service layer also. So you can see the carpenter is 40, 10, 80, 20. It has created. Okay. And then another bill was for material only. As I confirm this bill, it will create my journal entries for entire of the materials first. Okay. And then if I go to second invoice, it will generate entire of my invoice for services. And then if I want to check my profitability, I can see my price stock inventory over here. So all the inwards and outwards, and then my furniture sales over here. So this is how we can measure the entire thing. And if I go to my I haven't enabled analytic account, I think so. It would have created analytic account for our entire project like this. So if I now go into my project, you can have the project which is there. This will show my task analysis. The carpenter and another one which is outsource services. Then my burn down chart, it will not definitely, because I have done everything in one day only, today only, so burn down chart will not be there. Timesheet and planning analysis, 40 hours, 20 plus 20 over here which we have registered. And this is the total timesheet which we have filled up. If I go to settings, this is the current status. So total margin which I have made out of this entire order, we can see over here, right, across 2 invoice, 4 tasks and everything. So the thing is, like, now we can able to handle our typical service plus material project like this in the Odoo. Okay, hope this video will help many of the consultant and end user and companies to see how they can utilize Odoo project management and this material management alongside the project and task to utilize in their different scenarios and verticals. Thank you very much.